I'd like to introduce Jeremy On, who's going to do a presentation for interpersonal communications.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jeremy On, and I'm a student at Valencia College. So, I came here today to talk about our school mascot, the Valencia Orange. Just kidding, I really came here to talk about something we're forced to deal with in our daily lives, conflict resolution. Has anyone heard the story about the big brother and the little sister fighting over the last orange left in the fridge?
No.
Both want the whole orange for themselves, and neither kid is budging. After 5 minutes of arguing, the little sister finally gets the fruit knife and hands it to the big brother to cut it in half as a compromise, saying, "Neither of us can have the whole orange, so let's each settle for half of the orange." The big brother pauses for a moment and asks the little sister, "What do you want the orange for?" To which the little sister replies, "I want the orange rind to bake a cake." Little sister then asks the big brother, "And what do you want the orange for?" His response, "I want to eat the fruit of the orange." So now, rather than giving up half of the orange each, the big brother takes the orange and peels the entire rind, giving it to the little sister for her cake, while the big brother gets to eat the entire fruit of the orange too. So, what have we learned from this? While the example is somewhat simplistic, it demonstrates a universal win-win benefit of conflict resolution through collaboration. In other words, if we can focus more on each other's interests instead of only taking our own positions, we've just discovered that we can completely fulfill everyone's needs without giving up anything in the process. So while collaboration as a means of conflict resolution may not be as simple as my orange demonstration, the key takeaway should be obvious, and that is the collaborative approach to conflict resolution is the most constructive solution to managing conflict. In other words, by treating conflict as a mutual problem-solving challenge, it can satisfy all parties without compromising or giving up too much, if anything. So, to give everyone a little background information, conflict resolution is part of what is known as interpersonal communications. Interpersonal communication is the process by which people exchange information, feelings, and meaning through verbal and nonverbal messages. It is face-to-face communication between people. Interpersonal communication is not just about what is said and the language used, but how it is said, and the gestures, the body language, and facial expressions. After a semester of interpersonal communication study at Valencia College, I've learned a lot about this subject from years of research and case studies by experts in the field of interpersonal communications. So I'm convinced that we can all learn how to improve our own lives through the process of mutual collaboration. There are 4 steps to the collaborative approach to conflict resolution. First, being to attack the problem, not your adversary. The second, to focus on common interests and long-term goals. Third, to create options before arriving at decisions. And fourth, to critically evaluate your solution. So now that you're sitting at the edge of your seat in anticipation, let me break down the 4 steps on using collaboration as a means of solving conflict. First, attack the problem, not your adversary. When talking about conflict, be respectful of others, courteous, and optimistic. Do not engage in personal attacks and treat the source of the conflict detached from the people involved. In doing so, the conflict becomes more of a technical disagreement rather than a personal one. Furthermore, include the use of pronouns I and we as first person rather than you as second person, which can create the perception of blame on others. For example, you can say, "I can see that this disagreement is bothering us, so let's try to find a way that we can solve it." Second, focus on common interests and long-term goals. Instead of arguing over your own positions, try to find common interests and goals. Refrain from using the phrases, "I want this or that," as the conflict is bound to escalate to a battle of wills. Third, create options before arriving at decisions. Identify different potential avenues to solving the conflict and then combine the best elements of these avenues to arrive at a solution. Do not perpetually dwell on devising the perfect solution, since it may simply not exist. And the fourth, to critically evaluate your solution. Make certain that everyone is affected by the solution is being considered equally fair. Remember that the goal of collaboration is to be respectful and ethical to everyone involved, so that no one person comes out ahead. While collaboration is often the most ideal solution to conflict resolution, there are certain conditions that should be met before choosing this method. It is important that there is consensus and commitment from all parties. It is important that the environment itself is collaborative. It is important that the interests of everyone involved is addressed. And it is important that a basic level of trust is present. If these conditions are met, collaboration has many advantages. It leads to solving the actual problem, leads to a win-win outcome, it reinforces mutual trust and respect, building a foundation for effective collaboration in the future. It brings upon a shared responsibility of the outcome, earning everyone the reputation of a good negotiator, and it also results in a less stressful outcome of the conflict overall. Now, there are some caveats to consider when using collaboration. First, it requires a commitment from all parties to look for a mutually acceptable solution. Second, it may require more effort and more time than some other methods. In other words, a win-win solution may not be evident. Third, collaborating may not be practical when timing is crucial and a quick solution or fast response is required. And fourth, once one or more parties lose their trust in an opponent, the relationship falls back to other methods of conflict resolution. Therefore, it is crucial that all parties involved continue collaborative efforts to maintain a collaborative relationship. So in summary, while collaboration isn't always perfect, it is the most ideal approach to conflict resolution. Overall, it increases the satisfaction of people's relationships, and those who use collaborative methods are more likely to solve their differences and engage in fewer conflicts overall. Thank you for your time.
Very good here. Very good.
Nice. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you very much.